color. The continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Suddenly, the Carsons are gone, and Peyton Place is empty. Elliot Carson made the decision. He had seen his wife, Constance, take custody of a baby she believed was a child of her missing daughter, Allison. Then the truth was disclosed, and Constance returned the child to its natural mother, Jill Smith. The effect on Constance was overwhelming, and Elliot knew he had to take her away from the daily reminders of a tangled past. Elliot's father, Eli, and the family friend, Dr. Michael Rossi, are left behind to care for an empty house. They know that Elliot is right, and they know, too, that anything that takes the Carsons away somehow is wrong.
Hello, Eli.
Well, imagine having you for a doorman.
They let me stay with the key in case they missed you on the way out.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Connie told me. Well, I guess there's nothing much to do. Just check the doors and windows, see that everything's turned off, electricity and so on.
I've turned everything off, and I think I've locked all the windows.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I gotta find a place for this sign. Maybe I'll put it in here in the window.
Outside might be better.
No, I don't want to put a lot of nails in the front porch.
Well, I know, but you can take some of the string and put it in those holes and hang it on one of the pickets on the fence.
I think this is a good place for it right here.
Well, I think people would see a lot more of it if it was out there in a conspicuous position.
If people are looking for a house to rent, they'll see it here in the front window. What could be more conspicuous than a front window?
I don't know, maybe you're right.
Well, sure I'm right. Besides, I'm running an ad in the newspaper. Oh, this place will be snapped up just like that.
And what about the bookstore and the newspaper?
Well, Elliot didn't say for sure, so I'm just kind of leaving things as they are for the time being. He's got that fella from White River coming over. He's going to keep the newspaper going.
Yeah.
But you know, Michael, you just can't tell.
What do you mean?
Well, now, Elliot decided to leave here so suddenly. Suppose he and Constance decide to come back just as suddenly. Wouldn't it be something for a man to come back, find his house rented and his business sold right out from under him? No, sir. Whoever rents this house, I'm not going to give him any long-term lease, just a year-to-year thing. You gotta kind of anticipate things, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody here. Empty house. Oh, if there's anything I hate, it's an empty house. It gives you kind of a unnatural feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
And that nursery upstairs. That's the emptiest one of all. And that ought to be the noisiest and the most junk-filled and... But I guess I got the most satisfaction out of that room. Did you know that that room used to be a porch?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I built the whole thing with my own hands out of the best material in lumber. I brought heat into the room and electricity and all that. It's so well built that it's probably going to outlast the rest of the house. I just hope whoever rents this place has a kid that can use that room and enjoy it. This chair was up there. I spent many an hour in it, sitting and rocking. I was the official babysitter every Saturday night and sometimes on Fridays. Sitting and rocking and humming. Rocking and humming until Matthew went to sleep.
Who was it went to sleep first?
I guess we both did a little snoring.
Eli, let's go, eh? Eli?
Yes, sir. I built that nursery with my own hands. Well, guess we got things pretty well buttoned up.
Yeah.
Billy, come on in.
Hello, Leslie.
Well, what in the world are you doing here? Is your father downstairs?
Well, I'm here on business.
Well, tell your old man to come on up. I want to see him. He's just in time to help me select a tie for my son's wedding.
I'm afraid that his choice in ties runs about 40 years too late.
And he's right back in style.
Leslie.
You never knew my son, Rod, did you?
Well, I met him years ago when he was a kid. Leslie, I've just come in from Boston to see you.
Grab the phone. Tell that that's to page your father. I want to see him. Billy, you've got something on your mind.
My father isn't here. He sent me in his place. He wanted me to tell you that he hasn't the ability, the courage to look you in the eye and tell you...
Tell me what?
The Peyton Mill has been sold. And you're out, Leslie.
Did you talk to Peyton personally?
No.
I see. Chain of command. The old man whispers an order to one of his round-the-clock nurses. The nurse calls the esteemed law firm of Wainwright and Kennerly. My old colleague, my old tormentor, Bill Kennerly, calls his son. You know, I'm really very grateful to you, Billy. You came yourself. You could have sent the office boy.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Peyton's dying.
Well, right now I have an appointment with Stephen Cord.
The old man's dying. You know why he kept me running the mill?
Good night, Leslie.
It was his way of keeping an eye on me. But I guess your father filled you in on that.
My father isn't a cheap gossip.
Your father's a coward.
No. My father's a man. A fine man. A human being who finds it difficult to fire people. People of your age.
You'll do all right, Billy.
Bill.
Bill, I'm sorry. The years slip by so fast. I got a million questions.
I was trying to leave before you started asking them.
My contract, the new owners, my situation with the Peyton estate. After all, I'm supposed to be administrator of the estate after the old man dies.
The details will follow.
Details? They're my whole life.
Good night, Leslie.
Who's there?
It's Mother. Let me look at you. Do you know how long it's been since you sent us a photograph?
Haven't had any taken.
Oh, just a snapshot. It'll get all dog-eared anyway, the way your father will carry it around in his wallet. He still talks about you, you know.
When I phoned, you said you wouldn't be able to come.
Oh, well, I didn't think it would be quite right to leave him alone, not even for your wedding.
I understood that. Is he better?
Oh, much. Yes, much, or I wouldn't be here.
Mother, I want this to be a fresh start. For Rod's sake, even more so than my own.
I know, Betty. And your father and I are part of everything the two of you are trying to forget. And if we try to make a place in your lives again, we'll just be bringing the past with us. But, well, I couldn't stay away, could I? We're mother and daughter.
Mother, I'm glad you came. It's going to work out this time.
Good. Good, and I want lots of grandchildren. And, Betty, if there was any way I could change the past,
Mother, we don't have to talk about it now.
You never really forgave me.
It's not that important now.
Oh, I'm afraid it is. Do you know what my life is like now?
I can imagine.
Listening. Every evening, while your father talks endlessly about the past. Whatever mistakes I've made, I've paid for them.
Poor Mother.
Oh, I don't want your pity. It's a debt that I owe to George. But what happens if he has to go back to the home for the rest of his life? What will I have then? Except whatever place you and Rodney are willing to make for me in your lives.
You won't have to worry when Rod and I get on our financial feet.
I'm not asking to be pensioned off.
Oh, don't be silly. We want to do everything we can for you.
Are you saying you're willing to pay for my absence?
Mother, I understand your needs. But don't you see, I can't fill them at the cost of my own marriage, not again.
Why at the cost? Betty, if you and Rodney really love each other, then you've no reason to be frightened of anything or anyone. No one can hurt a good marriage.
Yes, but I don't want any risks.
What risks? Betty, why are you so insecure? What are you afraid of? Betty, when you married Stephen, I asked you if you loved him, and you were honest enough to say no, but that you'd learn. I'd like to ask you again. Are you in love with Rod?